Thank the Lord. Oh, Marty.
Okay, I've come to the conclusion that RVing is much like sailing. 95% boredom, 5% terror. So please tell me, if you were driving a motorhome and you were weighted down with all the weights shown in this picture, which we were, including basement storage that was completely full, as was the main cabin, why then would you choose a route home that takes you up steep inclines? Who does that at the hottest time of the year in a southern state? Well, let's find out how it all came about and what else happened along the way. Our journey began a couple of days earlier when we left Mexico with most of our personal belongings after selling our house of 10 years in Mexico. Maudie, our motorhome, was laden with everything you can imagine. And Lola, our little tow car, was crammed with everything else you can imagine. In our last video entitled Fleeing Mexico, we managed to get to Rio Rico, just a short distance north of the USA-Mexico border at Nogales. And this is where today's video begins.
Bye, Judy. Love ya. We will.
After a few days in Rio Rico, we said goodbye to our dear friends and headed north towards Casa Grande, where we had a reservation for the evening. The terrain through the northern part of Mexico and into Arizona is really flat, so we weren't at all concerned about our extra weight and the heat. So we worked our way towards Tucson with no worries. First going through the inspection point that's a bit north of Rio Rico. And you know, we go through these checkpoints with no worry at all. I mean, we're ma and pa cattle from Canada. We really have nothing to worry about. But you know, you never know. I always think, what if somebody, just maybe, put something illegal under your rig in the hopes that they could intercept you north of the border and collect it? Or worse still, what if you left a bay door open and some illegal people jumped in? The bay doors are big enough to climb into, and you get pulled over at one of these checkpoints and you're thinking everything's fine. They open up a door and there's a whole family of illegal people. Well, you're in deep caca. You know, the things I worry about. Anyway, we carried it along, and true to form, I make a wrong turn. We want to do some shopping just off the highway. I get myself into a residential area, which is hard to navigate with Maudie pulling Lola. And I just wanted to get the hell out of there. So we managed to do a quick U-E, which quite impressed Michaela, by the way, because she thought I wasn't going to make it.
You are way out there. Holy shit, good lord.
And back on the highway we were, happily heading towards Tucson. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Forward. Here we go. Camera's on.
Camera's on. Tire minder's on. Tires are all good.
Cars are good.
Yeah, perfect. Everybody's perfect.
Gauges are good. Fuel is a little bit above half. That's good. PSI is good. Oil pressure is good. Water temperature is good. Transmission, charging, good. Okay, bye. Nobody behind us. We're heading out. Well, after finding an old pair of glasses to wear, we finally left Casa Grande for Narenberg. It was a pretty uneventful trip. Kind of boring. Really nothing happened. We just sat back and relaxed. Easy highway driving and big open skies. When we arrived at our destination for the evening in Narenberg, I must admit, the RV park felt and looked like we were entering a penitentiary. It wasn't very appealing, but it was okay. You should walk alongside him until we pull out of here,
Okay.
just to make sure it fits into
Okay.
properly.
Then you're going to want to keep an eye on me.
Yes.
I need to stop you.
The next morning, we didn't dare open our blinds until we were almost ready to go because we were trying to keep the cabin as cool as possible. We had both air conditioners going all night long. It was so hot. This was a real heat wave. Well, today is a day, in hindsight, where we really screwed up on our route planning. The purpose of this trip should have been to get from Mexico to our home on Vancouver Island as quickly as possible so Michaela could start healing more completely after her cancer surgery and radiation treatment in Mexico just weeks prior to our departure. What really messed us up was our desire to drive Highway 395, our favorite route back to Canada, along the eastern side of the Sierra Nevada mountain range. What we didn't consider strongly enough was Maudie's weight, the heat of the summer, and the fact that we would be going up mountain ranges. We would have been much wiser to just take the road west through the Yucca Valley, the Palm Springs area, out to the Pacific Ocean, and then turn right and head north on the I-5 all the way into Canada, having only to cross over the Siskiyou Pass, which is the really major mountain range along that route. Why didn't we do that? God. Good. Well, by this time we were pretty worried and we were feeling helpless. As you can see, there's very little room to pull over if something happened. And we were worried for the well-being of Monty's engine, not for our own safety. If Monty overheated to the point where the engine sensed that it was going to be harmed, it would shut down. That's one of the Caterpillar features, and I think on most diesel engines. But can you imagine having the engine shut down along this steep incline where there's really no margin? We felt as long as we could cool him down every now and then and just work our way to the top of the hill, we would get there. But you know, we learned a very important lesson about Caterpillar diesel engines on this trip. We learned that a Cat diesel cannot tolerate being passed by a truck hauling onions. And as soon as the onion truck went by, Monty, without us doing anything, just pulled away and took on after this truck. And after a really grueling chase, Monty finally caught up to the onion truck on the last incline leading to the Yucca Valley. Oh, it was wonderful. Life was so good again. We were going to make it. And all because of the onion truck. Well, it might have been garlic. I'm not too sure.
Monty, come on, Monty.
Turbo boost.
Come on, Monty.
We're there.
Come on, Monty.
You can do it, Monty.
Come on, Monty.
26.
Oh, thank the Lord. Oh, Monty.
Although the Yucca Valley was not our intended destination, it was only midday, we decided to count our blessings and stay put here until the next morning when we could get up before the sun rose to work our way out of the Yucca Valley. And that's another story. But for now, we were able to find a small, pleasant RV park along the main highway where we could just relax and wait for the onion truck to pass by. Thanks for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if so, please give us a like, subscribe if you wish, we'd love to have you along. And oh wait, before I forget, there's one little clip at the end of this that I hope you stay for because, well, you just gotta watch it. You know, I believe all videos should have a message, and apart from me being an idiot, I want to leave you with something that I hope will help you. I really did think Monty was capable of doing this route, because prior to leaving Mexico, we had the engine completely serviced by a Caterpillar dealership, and I hand washed every one of Monty's blades, fan blades, to make sure that they were being efficient, blowing air through the radiator. I scrubbed the radiator flutes, or whatever they're called. I washed them out so that they appeared to be quite clean, and we replaced the air filter in Rio Rico that was the size of a small car. But even after doing all of that, we were still overcome, mainly by the heat, by the fact that Monty was so heavy. Please don't do what we did. We loaded Monty to the gunnels. So that's our story. Oh, sorry, I've got to go. My village in Canada just called. They've lost their idiot, and I need to get back as soon as possible. Cheers.